And
All right, and we are live. Good morning, Facebook, friends, associates, followers, family. Um, Coming to you live once again, and this is my final Love with Ledet conversation for the week.
for the
For
week.
the week.
Okay. I'm like, what?
For the week.
You gotta go strong, girl.
For the week, honoring my 1 year anniversary, which is Monday, August the 10th. It is official Houston Self Love Day. Like, how huge is that? Like, everybody can't say that the business that they are in is something that's affecting a community or the world. Like, they can't say my business is this for this day. Like, everybody can't say that. So that's huge to me, and that's why I've been promoting and putting so much social media attention to it, because I just think that it's huge. It's like, I love you guys so much to where we had, the mayor proclaimed a day for us for Houston, but like, once this thing starts to get annually, I want it to go national, because people need to stop and take a pause from their everyday life, and they need to breathe and just sit back. Like, originally, if I could have had my way, and if Corona would have been gone, it would have been a big celebration. And then also, if I could have got the mayor involved, probably would have lit up the city in red, at nighttime, just to represent love, because we need that right now. Initially, if I could have had my way, I wanted to everybody to pause for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in honor of George Floyd. Like, I had this whole vision planned out, but because we can't get together because of social distances, I had to get creative and just do it a different way. But then God, the Holy Spirit, just kept saying, he said, well, just have some conversations. He said, share some of your memories from your anniversary and let people know what you've been doing. So God and I went back and forth. I'm like, God, I'm gonna have to put on some makeup. I'm gonna have to get dressed. I'm gonna have to bother people. I'm gonna have to ask them to interrupt their schedule to come and interview. And I was like, but God, how do I do this? Every time God tells me to do something, I got to go back and forth with him. I got to ask him how I'm going to do this, what I'm going to do it. I say, what if the people say no? We just be going back and forth. And then he just said, do it. They will say, yes, do it. He said, do what I tell you to do. I was like, okay, all right. So I got my head together and I started scheduling people, and everybody that I called said yes, everybody. So I just thank God for that. This has been one beautiful week. Testimonies have been rolling in. People took the conversations around the journal. They took it serious. People have been ordering journals. They've been ordering the box. I said, look at God move. Like, that wasn't even my intention. My intention was just to show you and have conversations of what I've been doing, to share my past year with you through conversations of people who've actually done the work, who are just glowing like, just glowing like diamonds now. Like, to see that, like, that was my whole vision, to see how to show people that they are a priority, and that just makes me feel good to see that. So, but enough of that for right now. We are going to get into my beautiful, beautiful guest today. And let me just tell y'all something. Her name is Love Lisa. And I always have to share the story of how I met everybody. I always have to share this story. So we went to a women's conference. It was the shift, right? Was it the shift?
Shift her.
Yeah. Shift Her, from the amazing Charlotte Stallings, Ivy McGregor, and their beautiful niece Ariana. And so they, Lisa entered into the room. I entered into the room. A lot of beautiful women. We all met, but it was something about Lisa. Like, I knew that it was something about her spirit. And then we kept bumping into each other, the whole time. Like, like when they say break up in a session and talk to a sister or whatever, we crossed paths. And then I was like, well, what do you do? I'm always asking somebody, what do they do? And she was like, oh, I have this radio station, blah, blah, blah. And it's Love Lisa. Y'all know, anything with love in it. It caught my eye. And I was like, okay. I'm like, all right. I said, tell me a little bit more about this and what you do. And then we just connected. And then I have to let you guys know she's from New Jersey.
Jersey.
Jersey is in the house, y'all. So, and she just had a light about her. She just had a presence of God all over her. And I felt it and I saw it, and we connected. And then shortly after that, we exchanged numbers, and then we exchanged social media information. So we kind of watched each other a little bit on social media. And then Ivy McGregor had this event for New York. Well, I didn't know that she had registered. She didn't know that I had registered. So there we go again, bumping into each other again, sharing space, have a good time. Ivy McGregor is our global amazing mentor. Like she, all of that in a bowl of it. And yes. And so since us crossing paths, we have become sisters.
Yes.
We've become sisters, friends. She knows if she need anything, I'm a phone call away, and vice versa for her. So after all of that rumbling, let me share her background with you. And then also, God works in mysterious ways. When I was doing the scheduling and I saw that she was last, I said, on a Friday, Favor Friday, Favor Friday, people getting ready, for the weekend, I was like, we got to give them something good. I said, how not give them something good with a person to encounter with? So I know we're going to have an encounter.
Amen.
We're going to have an encounter on this Love with Ledet conversation today. And I just can't wait to just let her talk and just do her thing. But of course, I have to, I got to give you a little background about her. So her name is Lisa Austin Granville. She is the owner radio personality of Encounter Room Radio. Lisa has worked in New Jersey, Houston, and Atlanta on radio prior to owning her own internet station. Elder, Full Gospel Pentecostal Independent Church, international speaker and Christian. Elder and youth pastor, Full Gospel Pentecostal Independent Church, Christian life coach, international coach, and conference leader. Lisa is committed to teaching others how to survive through a wilderness experience through prayer, which builds a deeper personal relationship with Christ. Lisa believes one of the greatest gifts from God, besides loving others, is connecting people together. Lisa is a love connector. How about that? And that's what I am. And that's why we connected through love.
Absolutely.
Yes. So without further ado, I give you my beautiful sister from New Jersey, Love Lisa.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you for inviting me on your show. You are definitely Love Ledet, but, just everything that you do with a unique heart. The feeling is mutual. When we saw each other, it wasn't just that when I entered in the room, my presence, but it was your presence. And when those presence came together, we knew that it was God.
Yeah.
And so, because there were so many beautiful ladies there, and, but God will have you to connect with who he has you to connect with.
Right.
And so I just want to say thank you again, for having me and all that you do. And congratulations for this, what God has done. And listen, if there's anything I can do to bring that here to New Jersey, I know a couple folks, maybe write a letter to, our assemblywoman and, see what we could do. And, the mayor here, but, I would love to be able to promote anything that has to do with love, because like you said, the world needs more love, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so, and also, I have to shout out Houston because, I'm a Jersey girl, but my heart is there, here and there. My heart is in New Jersey as well as Houston, those who know the Trey, if I had to pick a place to live, the Third Ward, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to the Nickel, and shout out to, all my people in Cypress and Springs and, all over, Houston. I'm so blessed. I've been coming there for about, I think since 2008. And actually my partner lives in Houston. So shout out to her, Nadia. And But yeah, so, my business is in Houston. I have two businesses in Houston. So I'm pretty grateful to be able to say I have a home in New Jersey as well as Houston. So
Yes, God is
I'm
good.
blessed.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
yeah.
So.
So, Lisa, share any experience that you've had either with Love in the Box or maybe the journal or just anything you want to share with the people.
I would say Love in a Box. I got Love in Box. I purchased it, but I knew I had every intent to give it to someone else, right? Because that's what. And when I gave it to this particular lady, she's a mature woman, and she was just so blessed. I mean, tears came down her eyes. The fact that you're giving someone a box of love, right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
and that you're thinking of them, and it doesn't have to be something someone even expected. So just to know that here, through this pandemic, she's feeling lonely. She doesn't have a lot of family, but I brought this box, and I'm telling you, it blessed her. So please don't stop doing it. Let God continue to use you, because listen, that's what He is. God is love. We are, we're supposed to be a reflection of God. So if they don't see love in us, then we need to question, is God in us?
Right. I listen, let me tell you something. When I saw the courage in you when we were in New York and you were on crutches.
When people don't know that, but we can talk about it. A lot of people don't know I was on crutches. They didn't know I wasn't. Wow. But wow. I have no problem sharing that.
Wow.
They're hearing for the first time, many people, because I haven't even, put my testimony on Facebook yet, as of yet, and I know that's coming. But I'm glad maybe this is the forum for it. But you did see me. You did see me.
Wow.
So you saw me. I was bare, and I shout out to my daughter and my two girlfriends who came with me. And that was a blessing. But God wanted me to come for many reasons, because I could have stayed home, right? I could have not come.
Yeah.
And, but I chose, I didn't choose, but God. I asked God, I said, God, what should I do? And He said, go, because God is always testing the hearts of people.
Yes, always.
Because it's always, because my pastor says it's only when you squeeze where you know what's on the inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes, believe it or not, people were squeezed, to see, how they were going to respond, and I realized that therefore, there's so many, like I have a brother of mine. He's a brother, like he's my pastor's brother. He's my brother.
Yeah.
And when he was at a very young age, he lost a leg by jumping on a train. But he's not handicapped. There was nothing about him. Yeah. And God wanted me to see, that's love. Yeah. Love is when you keep pushing in spite of what it looked like.
That's why I brought it up. That's why I brought it up, because that touched me. Like you didn't let the situation stop you. Like you knew it was something there for you in New York, and you didn't let it stop you. Even if it was the enemy, you know what I mean? Even if it was, I'm gonna slow her down. She ain't getting to New York. But exactly. You pushed and you persevered, and that like spoke volume to me. That let me know that you really do live up to your name.
But you know what? And and I thank you for saying that. But I even thank God for the people, because the two young ladies I brought, we've never traveled together.
Wow.
And I prayed about who I was to invite. So yes. Dana and Kimberly, I thank you. My daughter Shanice, I thank you. And he told me those ladies, and let me tell you, they, when I tell you, they were just love the whole time, helping me with my crutches, helping me, what people didn't know, I went to the doctors, they told me that it was, they use a C word, and I'm a cancer survivor.
Yeah. Oh,
anytime I hear that C word, initially it's like almost someone just giving me a black eye, like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't like to hear the word.
Right.
Thank God, it wasn't, cancerous. It was benign. So therefore it wasn't going to, cause me to go through what I had to go through before.
Yeah.
Chemotherapy. So, which was wonderful, but it's still, I hate the name of it,
yes.
and So I had to go through surgery. So that was a big deal for me to come. I could have wallowed. And that's why I go back to my brother. Like, he's such an example. He's a man of God. And I see him walking in God's love, love gives you power.
It does. That's why I brought it up. Yes, yes.
You power to do not some things, but all things.
Yes.
We quote these scriptures and we say these nice things,
but you don't actually live it, and you don't do it. Yes.
You're squeezed.
Yes.
So once I'm going to get up, because I'm telling you, I'm going to show my testimony at one point, because I took pictures. I'm like literally taking pictures, selfies of me in the bed. I didn't want to get up. I was sad, and for me to come.
Mm-hmm.
It was really about the love that I was receiving.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know I was going to see you there.
Right. Right.
You don't know. I remember our deeper conversation was the last day. Right.
Yes.
And you embraced me. We got to embrace. We got to talk more. We saw each other a little bit at the play. We got to, exchange some words.
Mm-hmm.
But that hug was important to me. Because it was important.
Yes.
It was important for the embrace and your girlfriend. It was important.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what others go through and what they've been through. So you didn't know. It wasn't just me, just on crutches. It was a whole experience with me going to the doctor. For months, I kept telling them something was wrong with my foot.
Mm-hmm.
And it started swollen. It would just swell up out the blue for no reason. I'm like, this is not normal. This is not
normal. Yeah.
And then I go to the doctor 3 or 4 times. She said, oh, just put ice on it. And then finally I said, look, there's something not right with my
foot. And your body talks to you. You know your body. You just have to pay attention, but they don't get it. Like when you're trying to tell them, look, I know something is wrong.
Listen. And when you have a prayer life with God, and he will show you things. He will tell you things. He will break things down to you. Now it's up for us to have the ear to hear him.
Yes.
When you're in love with somebody, you spend time listening to them. So with my love, the love that people see from me and get from me is only the love that God has given to me.
Right.
Because, when he shared to me that I was beautiful, what?
I
was fearful.
Come on, sister.
Made in his image? That made me beautiful. See, we wait for people to tell us that we're beautiful all the time, but we got to stop waiting for that. All the beauty that we want is on the inside.
On the inside.
And then once you let the power, because the Bible says that he lives on the inside of us. When we let that power work for us, when you walk into a room, you should expect to change the atmosphere.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not you, it's God. And if people have an issue with it, they really have an issue with God. If people are jealous, they need to, because sometimes people, they don't know your plight, sis.
Right.
They don't know your heartache.
Mm-hmm.
People are always quick to judge the outside of you. Oh, because she looks well put together, but they don't know the tears I've been through, the abuse, all the trials and tribulations I had to go through. Cancer survivor, mother of 4, young, surviving welfare, I'm married to a pastor who wasn't nice to me, so said unkind words. So people don't know my story. They only, some people, and then because some people just want to say, oh, I remember since I worked at I've been in pharmaceutical all my life, since I was 20 something years, right?
Mm-hmm.
26 years old, I've been in pharmaceutical. And I remember this young lady, she tells HR that I was talking about my salary in the elevator. And that's not so. It was, what happened was a man from another, he was in another, how sometimes
department or something, or
you need to be in our department, and I'm like, nah, I'm good, I'm really good, and so she took it the fact that I was talking about my salary, but the truth is she was jealous. Like her cousin came up to me and said, and that's just a harsh word. I'm going to tell you, anybody who's watching, if you even have a little bit of jealousy, you rebuke yourself.
That's right. That
spirit is the same spirit that we've seen throughout the Bible that has called death and division.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason, because if because you're the way that God made you, you're beautiful. Whoever is watching, you're perfect the way God made
you. And jealousy is the bait of Satan.
It's just
what it is. That's just what it is. And when he baits you in under jealousy, it's just room. After that, it's a domino effect for destruction. There's no positive that can come out of that. No positive, all negative. And so if you fall for that, you're falling into the trap, the bait of Satan. You are.
Absolutely. And you don't know what other people are going through. That's why it's important for you to smile at them and to love them. But, so I go back to that story to say, so I got a call from HR and they fired me. So they fired me because of what she said. So the young lady's cousin who worked there, she said, well, my cousin was just jealous. She's jealous of you because your size, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, okay, but does she know I'm a cancer survivor? Did you know that I had 6 months to a year to live with that diagnosis? Does she know that I had 4 children? I'm a single mom and I have to provide for them. Okay. So, but at the end of the day, I'm going to share this with those who are listening. It's not your fault what comes out of others. It's only your fault what comes out of you. When you're squeezed, let love. So even though she did that, I had to go and pray because but guess what? God opened another door. A greater door, a better door. Because he does. I went to her cousin. I said, well, tell her I love her anyway.
Forgiveness. Because
forgiveness is love. I forgive anyone who has hurt me. I don't care who it was. I forgive them. Because when you don't forgive, we've heard that, it's not a cliche, you give them power over you. Many people are suffering and cannot receive the love of God because they're still walking in unforgiveness and bitterness.
That's right.
Why that person has moved on. Why that person has maybe even asked God for forgiveness.
Right.
It's time to let it go.
Let it go.
It's time to love yourself. When you really allow God, when you really know God, you have to love yourself.
Have to.
Because if not, then how can you love, anyone else if you don't love yourself first?
Right.
And it took me a while. It did. I'm like, but I'm like, when I went through the worst time of my life and that going through that marriage and, that divorce, because of the unkind words of someone, I'm going to tell you, we cannot be receiving that. No. And I had to repent and cry on my knees because I'm saying, Lord, Father, forgive me for allowing his voice to be higher than your voice.
Your voice.
About me concerning who I am in my life and who I am to be.
I need you to repeat that. I want to make sure they heard what you said. Repeat that.
Listen, we cannot let anyone's voice be louder than God. So I had to repent and say, Father, I repent for allowing his voice to be louder than your voice. Because at the end of the day, no one can tell me who and whose I am. I am the child of God. And if someone doesn't speak towards me in that vein, I rebuke them. If I do it, I might do it publicly. If I have to do it silently, but you're rebuked.
In that order.
If you call me anything but a child of God. Now you can speak to me if you feel like I'm not, come to me because, we all know, the Bible says, he wants us to speak love and truth.
Right.
I want you to come to me. Sis, if you see me on Facebook, if you feel like, I'm offending you or offending someone, please come to me in love.
Of course. Anyway.
People get offended because they don't really know what love is.
Right.
If you love your brother or your sister, you wouldn't see them do things that's going to hurt themselves or someone and not share it with them. Even if you think they may get upset, it's okay. You just do what God tells you to do in love. And we want to see so many things grow. It grows. Love makes things grow in our lives.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Love, it always wins. Like, it doesn't matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter it could be the worst thing ever happened to you in your life. And I'm not saying like you just sweep it under the rug and act like it didn't happen.
No.
But what you do is you deal with it. You deal with it head on. That's what you do. You deal with that situation. You get enough strength. Because here's the thing that I know about trauma. When it first happened, you're in shock because you can't believe that it happened. The second thing, you're mad. So then
Woo, girl.
you're mad because you pissed off because you want to know how in the hell did somebody do this to me, or etc., or whatever the case it may be. Then the emotion changed to depressed. Like, how am I going to get through this? Like, I can't believe this happened to me. To me, you know what I mean? And I don't do anything to anybody. Why didn't my marriage work? Or, just why these things happening to me? So then it turns into depression. So now I've just mentioned 3 emotions. I just mentioned shocked. First, I said traumatized. So traumatized.
Yeah, it was trauma.
Shocked. Now you're angry and pissed. Now you're in depression. Okay, so you imagine if you hold all of those emotions in and don't let it out, what do you think how do you think your body will respond to that?
Well, cancer causes a cancer.
That's
all kinds of things happen when you hold this stuff in.
When you hold it in, it is an effect on your body. I can tell y'all, I am a living witness. I held in the stress from my job and it almost took me out. I could not drive for 10 months. It almost took me out. So I'm just saying, holding those emotions in, let it go. Let it go. Yeah, if you need to reach out to somebody, I say this all the time, inbox me. And I'm serious about that. Inbox me, reach out to me on one of my social media platforms. This is my gift and this is my calling. I don't have a theology degree for nothing. I didn't take up all these courses from my biblical studies at HVBI. God put me in this position. This is what I like to do. This is why the name of my company is called A Unique Heart, because I have a compassionate pastor's heart for people. Amen. That's what I have. Like, I have such passion for people. It shocks me. It overwhelms me sometimes because I'm like, how am I so, like, I don't even know how I'm this compassionate, but it's just how God created me to be. And there's nothing that I can do about it. All I can do is just walk into my calling.
And it's a beautiful thing, though. So
and just
have that type of heart. I mean,
yeah.
My son tells me that all the time. He's like, Mom, you have such a soft heart for people, and I know I do. I think I like how you went through those emotions because those are very important.
Right, and that's the reason why I put that in the journal. I want, like, anybody, if you're listening to me right now, you have that box and you have the journal. Please take the journal out and do the work, especially if you're going through something. The emotion of mad, it takes so much to be mad. It takes a lot. Like, for me to be mad, it took a lot. Because I'm the kind of person, I'll blow it off a little bit. I'll blow it off. But when I get there and I'm out of my element and I'm in a space of mad, that means something really, really, really ticked me off. And so, but what I've realized over the years of the wisdom of God and just being a woman of God, you have to know when the enemy is coming at you under spiritual attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you immediately see that you're shifting out of your element and that's not who you are, you got to like realign yourself. And that's why you have to write those feelings out in that journal. That's why I put the emotions at the top of the journal. So however you wake up that morning, you need to check it off and need to deal with that emotion at the top of the day. Deal with it. And you got your mirror to look and say your affirmations on whatever you're dealing with. Then throughout the day, you got to check in self-love activity. And at night, you got your nightly reflections. And I'm going to tell you, them nightly reflections, when you reflect on what happened throughout the day, my God. But the thing is, you are dealing with it all day long. And so once you get those emotions out, now you're facing it because you're writing it out. You're getting it out of your system. You're facing it. And now then God will guide you on how to guard you. He will guide you on how to get through your situation. You don't want to stay stuck in that place. You don't ever want to stay stuck in that angry emotion and that depressed emotion. You don't want to stay in there. It's okay to feel that because nobody has glorious, happy, joyous days all the time. Things are going to happen, but God will guide you through it. He will guide you through it. And so, I just thank you for sharing that. Like this, God is something else. He just told, you know how when he tell you something, he just said, do this, and you be trying to figure out how, what, how.
Just do it. Just do it. You know, I think it's very important for people to know that, just like you said, that for healing, you really have to, you cannot avoid it. You have to deal with it, and you have to see yourself, until you can really see yourself and your part in it. Because a lot of times it's so easy for us to blame other people.
Other person.
What they do.
Right.
But we have to understand, what do we do? Meaning I'm not saying that people have to do things to be mistreated. That's not what I'm saying. But what we could do is, if we have known ourselves and loved ourselves, then we wouldn't have allowed that particular treatment, right?
Right.
And so that's where we have to come in and say, Lord, teach me how to love me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I had to do. Lord, teach me how to love me. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, being a mother, being a wife, and being all these different things, or, a boss, and, you become lost about who you are, and you don't no longer know how to love yourself. Right. So that's why this is self-care. We have to take care of ourselves. And, there's days I just shut everything off.
And that's what you're supposed to do.
And that's my self-care. I'm not one, to be honest. Like, my daughter is a hair stylist, so I can get my hair done anytime, anyway I know that I want. But I don't even abuse that. Like, I've never been one of those people who like the hair salon. I don't like I'm so glad COVID's here. I'm not. I'm not glad COVID's here, but that's one of the things that I'm set free from.
Yeah.
I'm free from
your time back. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, sometimes we're just so busy doing things that aren't even important. So to me, now, some women, they love it. They couldn't wait to get to the nail salon, but that's their thing. That's their vice. And I celebrate you, but for me, a walk, just walking with my, my family, just, even just quietness, listen to nothing but the birds.
Right. Absolutely.
You just have to find your peace. And a lot of times for me, I just like listening to the word.
Yes.
So a lot of times I don't get the chance to actually physically look at the book. Mm-hmm. I have the word playing in the background, whether I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, but the word, because the Bible said the word is medicine. That's and right. That medicine is what's always healing me and continue to fill me back up with happiness.
That's right. So let's shift gears real quick. Let's talk about the Encounter Room.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you do. I want you to share your platform with the listeners and tell us what you do.
Okay, well, I am the owner and a radio personality for Encounter Room Radio, and that came after just I've been on a couple of different stations, and wonderful stations at that, and I just felt like it's time for me to I want to do my own. So for those who are listening, if you have a podcast that's positive and you want to have it on my station, please call me. You can message me. Really. For nothing. I really just want to bless people. That's something I want to bless people with, information and good music. So you can, www.theencounterroom.com, as well as you can email me at encounterroomradio@gmail.com as well. And I'd love to have a conversation. If you're not my friend, befriend me on Facebook. Love to chat with you. And so what we do is, it's all about having an encounter with God, because once you have an encounter with God, you're changed. Right. And that's where my love came from. When I had a true encounter with God, that's when the love came. And that was when I was able to love people, because a lot of times we say, I love you, but people, like I saw a Christian write on a post the other day. Basically, I want to stop doing for people because they don't do for me.
Wow.
I saw a pastor say, amen.
Wow.
That's not God.
No, that's not. No.
You don't base love on what someone does for you.
Right.
Do for you. The love is on the inside of you. You do it because what we do unto God.
That's right.
We don't do it unto man. That's why there's many people, even, I see people, they still, but they think they're trying to take advantage of me because I'm a kind person.
Yes.
You can never take advantage of a child of God.
No.
So I get double for my trouble.
You better say it.
100%. So
you better say it.
So,
Yeah.
I do because God he tells me to do. And when he tells me to stop doing, I stop doing.
That's
A lot
right.
of people don't understand that when you have an encounter with God, you hear his voice. It doesn't make you, God doesn't want, God's not a punk and neither are we.
Right.
But
Right.
God has grace and so do we.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't, my thing, I extend the grace when God tells me to. So
Right.
therefore, there's sometimes, like people, like for instance, there's some people who want you to donate all the time to their cause. The
Right.
truth is, whether it's $5, $10, or a nickel,
Right.
I do what God tells me to do.
Right.
And if he tells me to donate, I'll donate.
Right.
But if he doesn't, it's not the fact that it's not a worthy cause, but there's a Joe or a Mary that he then told to do the same thing. So that's not I'm helping. I might be helping someone else.
Right.
So that's what I want people to understand. When you have an encounter with God, and that's what Encounter Room Radio is about. Also, we have a Facebook page, Encounter Room, that we like to post positive things. We do videos. I also do interviews as well. Mm-hmm. And because I believe when you have an encounter with people who have God in them, then you too have an encounter with God.
Right, absolutely.
We are his hands and his feet. He uses us.
He uses us.
Absolutely. And I want to promote the God in you, because I believe that if we can just spread more love, that encounter becomes even more easier.
Yes.
But that's our job, and so I'm grateful, I'm grateful for what I do. That's what I do, but also, again, I'm in pharmaceutical. Like I mentioned, I've been in pharmaceutical for many, many years. But my love, it will always be people connecting. And that's what we do at the Encounter Room. And we also have Encounter Room Wellness coming because we want people to understand mind, body, and soul. We have to take care of ourselves.
That's right.
We shouldn't. A lot of times we're working against God. We keep praying.
Yeah.
God, I want you to do this, make me healthy. But then you're eating the most unhealthiest foods.
Don't make
God,
sense.
keep me safe. Right. But then you're out there walking in the park by yourself at 11:30 p.m. You got to have wisdom. You know what I'm saying? We want God to work with. God can only do for us what we really allow him to do.
Right.
He can do some things, but if you really want to do all things for you, then you have to yield your will to his will. Mm-hmm. So, so that's, connecting people, and I think, as you have that gift, I have the gift of connecting people. I mean, I meet people all around the world, and I'm so blessed. I'm on the phone with them. Like if I'm not on the phone with one of my sisters or brothers from London or Jamaica or, some, Italy or somewhere where I've traveled and I've fell in love with those people and they fell in love with me. Right. But then I get to connect them to other people.
Yes.
To help them with what God had, put inside of them. And that's what it's about. Mm-hmm. Helping, connecting. Listen, if I can help you, like I said, in your vision, that's what I'm supposed to do. Not because I want to be I don't want my name to be a co-founder.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
You're not trying to take 50% of the company.
Right. No, I just want to listen. I want to spread love.
Yes.
I want people to have an encounter with God because in the change that you're looking for, the reason why you're feeling depleted and defeated and depressed and sad and, it's because you haven't really embraced the encounter.
Yes. Oh, that's good. Yes. That's right. You haven't embraced it. You have to
embrace the encounter. And
you can't walk around saying, oh, I love God. I love myself and all that, but you're always down. Something is always wrong. Yeah. Like, a person that truly has had an encounter with God, you know how to get your joy back regardless.
Let me give you, so I went through that bad situation in the marriage and, they used to say very unkind words. Mm-hmm. And I had said, to piggyback on what you said is, it's because of that, the fact that I did not really know who I was.
Yeah.
You don't know who you was. Like you can't go around and say like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And then something like that happens. And then you question, why did it happen? Mm-hmm. Well, the fact is, were you really happy in the first place?
That's it. That's it. Because that shouldn't trigger your happiness.
It shouldn't. And it shouldn't make you happy nor sad just because someone says something.
Right. That's right.
Do something. So therefore the Bible says, you know, you have to pray, you know, pray in your holy faith. Like I literally had to pray and spend time with God in a different way, not just going to church.
That's right.
Not just, you know, saying, oh, I'm praying. But when I had that real encounter with God, I mean, it changed my life forever. This is who you see today.
Yes. This is who you see after she's done the work. And
you have to do the work. That's why your book is your journal is important. Yeah. You have to do the work. You have to understand that it's in you.
Yes.
The reason why people are doing some of the things, and I'm speaking to myself today.
Yeah.
Because we got to be the first partaker of the word. Let's not keep preaching to people and we ourselves don't take our own, what coming out of our own mouth.
That's right. That's right.
You know, so, but it's because we have to continue to have a great prayer life. A great prayer life.
Have to.
Spend time in prayer. And God will reveal to you to not stop looking just about people, but about you. Your weak points. Because guess what? It's the same. The enemy keeps hitting us in the same place.
The same place.
He keeps jabbing us. Boom.
Yeah. And he jabs us through the closest people to us. Okay? Because you can be on cloud 9 and then had an encounter with God. And I promise you, one of the closest people around you, whether it be your children, something, your partner, you know, your husband, your wife, whoever, I promise you, they will come in and do something to dampen your spirit because you're on a high. You know, you've had because you're on a high, but you gotta have a bounce back spirit now. There you go.
You gotta have a bounce back
spirit.
Because no excuse for us not to have a bounce back spirit, because even the fact that, you know, it does hurt when our loved ones, they may come at us and the devil may use them for that period.
Right.
But what I'm learning, whether if it's my kids or whoever, for a moment, because remember, it's not our fault what comes out of others. It's only our fault what comes out of us. We shouldn't let people dictate to us how we're supposed to feel, let it be whoever it is in our lives.
Right.
We have to stay on the word of God, remembering, and you know, and then if we come back at them, then we need to repent. Because guess what? We shouldn't be stopped. We got to stop being moved by people and emotions. Can you imagine if Jesus was moved by emotions?
Oh my God.
Woo! I mean, Peter. Could you imagine his conversation with Peter on the rock?
I can imagine that one. Oh my God.
Me 3 times, you know what I'm saying? You know, can you imagine? And that's what I'm saying. We got to stop being just, you know, hearers, but we have to be doers of the word.
Doers of the word, yeah.
We have to stop quoting these, you know, scriptures
and being, holier than thou, but then behind the scenes.
Exactly. Yeah. Death and life is in the power of our tongue. Yes, but guess what? He also says this, that faith, unbelief is a sin to God.
Yes.
So if you don't even believe what you're saying, you're sinning against God. You know, we can no longer keep faking it to make it.
Because it is impossible to please God without faith.
Without faith.
Period.
Too many people are faking it to make it. I remember this young lady. And I used to minister to her. She used to say, I'm just faking it to make it. And I was like, wow. You know, because she was going through, she had a drug addiction and she was, you know, going through. And I remember I even stayed with her at one of those homes because it was her first night.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And she said, I'm just going to keep faking it till I make it. Well, that only lasted for a few years.
I bet it did, because the real you, it's got to come out and you got to face it.
Because you got to face you. You got to start seeing you for your insecurities. Oh my God. Like I had to tell, like, I didn't think I was pretty for the longest time. Because
and as beautiful as you are.
Because of what someone said to me when I was 11 years old. He was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I couldn't think of anything because I was a serious tomboy. Like I have 8 brothers, you know, I have 4 sisters, but I was like dirt bike riding, movie making, football throwing.
Yeah.
And she said, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" And I was like, "I want to be a model." And she was like, "A model? You're not pretty enough to be no model." In front of all of these adults. And I just went home. I ran home crying and I jumped on the bed and I said, "God, it's okay. I'm not pretty on the outside, but can you make me pretty on the inside?" Let me tell you, God can do the work if you allow him to do it.
You allow him.
You see, I still laugh because when people stop me, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so pretty." I laugh. I'm like, I laugh because I'm still that same little girl with my cornrows plaited to the hair real tight. And I said, "God, you just have a way of making people see you and not me."
Yes. So you know what I want you to do? Did you see my challenge yesterday?
I did.
That's what I want you to do. I want you to write a letter to yourself, to the 11-year-old girl.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I need you to go back and see that post about writing a love letter to yourself about a time when you didn't feel like you were loved or were unlovable.
But you know what? You know what, sis? When I look back, I knew that God was love.
Yes.
Because I was 11 years old and I had enough wisdom to lay on that bed and cry out to God and say, "God,
you're right.
Okay." But you know what? I love, but you know what? It's still what that lady said to me affected me for many years because I never did. I'm like, but now, girl, you can't. And it's not because of what people see on the outside.
Right.
Because guess what? I let go, I let God, and I did the work. And I had to deal, and I'm still, it's an ongoing process.
It's a constant journey.
Oh my God. I was like the smallest one always in school. They used to call, like my camp counselor called me spaghetti, and I had training bras. I still couldn't wear them in the 8th grade. And people gave me in the 5th grade, and I'm like, And you just feel it's so inadequate. But now that I'm older, I'm like, you know what? It's all right.
I mean, they picked on me. That's in my journal. That's on one of my pages. They picked on me about my dark skin. And they also
it is beautiful.
And they called me buckwheat. They did. They bullied me and called. You remember buckwheat from the little?
I remember buckwheat.
That's what they called me because I was so dark, and my mom would put my hair in the Afro puffs. They used to call me buckwheat and Little Rascals. Yeah, and for the longest that bothered me, like because I was like, well, why can't my skin be like Janet Jackson and girl.
We're paying for that skin now. In my head, I'm chocolate. So I had a best friend. She was, and I wouldn't, she was lighter than me. Just say that, but she's no longer here. My Beretta, and she would always say, like, if you even called her light skin, she would be like she'll give us the look. You chocolate. My kid's like, "You chocolate, Aunt B." You Because guess what? We it's beautiful. Your skin now
Now I know, But back then I didn't know. But that I definitely write about that. I think twice, like in the journal. Yeah.
I prayed. Okay, this is silly, but I did pray for a chocolate child. My son, you can't tell my little chocolate. Listen, and he was like and I'm telling you, it's so funny because like he was like, "Mommy, I'm not your favorite because I'm chocolate." Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
But loving yourself, loving others, and helping people to love themselves too.
Right.
So a kind word a day, like even when you're out, what's wrong with, saying, "Hey, you look beautiful today," or "Hey, hi, how's," just something positive, those affirmations, about, so with me, I wake up every day and I say, "This is the day I shall live and not die."
Right. Absolutely.
Especially with everything going on this pandemic. And I also say that with my family, I say that I'm not leaving no one behind. We're all coming out of this together. So you my family, sis.
Oh, girl, listen, I'm honored to be a part of the family. I love this morning when I called and, I was asking you about something. You said, "Wait a minute. What's that I hear in your voice?" You say, "Now look now." You say, "Somebody messing with fam?" I say, no, I'm good.
Listen, the nickel in the tray will come out of me.
Yeah. Somebody messing with you. I was like, no, I'm good. I said, said, but you know what? It sure feel good to know you had your sister back.
I had her back. I'm like, let me call her back. Her voice didn't sound, you know. I got you. I got you in prayer. I got you in life, girl. I got you. I'm so grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's not it, you know, when I tell you this past year, like I gotta literally look back on all of the sisters that I've met in different states. Like to gain so many sisters in different states this year, I have sisters now like in Arizona, California, Jersey, New York. I definitely have sisters in Chicago. Those are like my second home sisters. But I'm saying the ones that I met this past year on this journey. Like even the first two ladies that I had to interview with, two of them went from Arizona this week, and I forget the other one, the state that Patty was in. But I mean, just amazing to have a platform to where you can share love, and we're all in different states. Like love has no distance. It has no distance, and I love the way everybody, all of you guys were unique. You had your own personality, and all of our experiences was different. But the thing that connected us all was love.
Absolutely.
My God, like the spirit of all of y'all. And y'all have made this an amazing week for me. Like this means so much to me this week because I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. March was my birthday. Everybody knows I'm gonna do something for my birthday because I didn't love myself enough before 40. I never even did anything for myself. I never celebrated myself for nothing. So busy doing for other people, everybody, my bonus kids, everybody, my mom, just my siblings, my husband, everybody. Never really celebrated me. So around 45, around 43 or 44, somewhere the light bulb went off. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do something nice for me. So I was around 45, and I had a good friend of mine. She's a designer. She designs clothes. Kim Small. She decided she was going to do something nice for me because I told her, you know, I was going to have a party and everything. And she came, her and her cousin, she came to the house. They gave me a makeover and designed my dress for me and all that. This is on my 45th birthday. And so ever since then, like the feeling that I got from that experience, I have been celebrating myself every year. And so I got spoiled with it. So I got spoiled. I'm like this, yeah. So you know, this year Corona hit dead smack on my birthday. Like we had just got back from New York, and my birthday was like a week and a half later, and that's when they put the city on lockdown. You tell my heart was just crushed. It was crushed. I'd even told Ivy, I had to call Ivy because I had made an appointment with her. I was like, I can't do that for my. She was like, okay, let's go in prayer right now. Like she's
so amazing.
Yeah, she turned my whole perspective around. You know, I was like, I had this event planned, I had that, I can't do nothing, you know. And so she calmed me down. We talked about it and all of that. And the one thing that she mentioned to me, she said, just start talking about love. And this is what she told me back then. And I started doing it a little bit. But what I'm saying is what's actually really happening now this week is what she was telling me. You know, like I did it a little bit back then when she told me to do it, but this week to me seemed like it came in fruition of how she told me to do it and explained to me to do it.
She's
And so back to what I was saying. So March, I couldn't do nothing. I always take my family vacation and celebrate my anniversary with my husband in July every year. Didn't do that and didn't celebrate my birthday. Didn't celebrate the anniversary. Then now this anniversary is coming up, and I couldn't do anything. So to have you guys on this week to honor something that's so personal and so near and dear to my heart, like this has made my week. Like this is the celebration. This is the celebration. So just thank you for saying yes. Thank you for loving on me. Thank you for all the times I've called on you. Like I even called on you this morning for a quick favor, and you know, like I prayed for these type of sisters. I did, because you can have people that you've been growing up with for a lifetime, and can't get no help or whatever, or you know what I'm saying. Like you grow up with people for a lifetime, and sometimes they're not available when you need them. But to meet sisters across the states, and you make a phone call and say, "Hey, can you do such?" and they like yes, and they on it. Like I'm grateful. I'm grateful and I'm thank you. So I thank you so much, sister. You live up to your name. You live up to your name. You're beautiful. I'm so glad you've done the work. I'm so glad that the world got to see you. I'm so glad they got to see you in spite of everything you've been through. Like they don't know your story, but like now they see you. And so you get the opportunity to share your story with them just like we did today. But they see you, the beautiful young lady that God created you to be. And so it's just so amazing to see that. And I'm so glad that our paths cross. I am. I'm just keep doing your work, sister. Keep doing your work. That's all I can say. Just keep doing it. And I am only a phone call away. I am.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Until my best friend last night called her Cora. Until Cora get out the way. And until I could get to New Jersey or you could get to Houston and we officially get to hook up and have some fun and have a hug. But yeah.
Come to my second home.
Yes.
I'm ready. Yeah, we gotta get this virus out the way so we can get back to life.
Right. Yeah. Start doing and doing the things that God called us to do, because we're definitely gonna do some amazing things. I just know it. I know it. He's setting the picture up. He's setting it up. I can see it. You know. Yeah. So 21, and I'm not even counting 20 out. 20 is not over. It is not over.
It's not over. It's not over. This has been a great. I mean, you know.
Despite
all of the other things,
like I can understand that.
You know, so many women have been thriving, and men too. Just doing so many other positive things, starting their own businesses and
everything. So much
buying homes, buying cars,
yes,
doing investments, those type of things, and reconnecting back to God.
Yes, because He's the source anyway. But like I say, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to add? If not, I'm gonna give you back your time and give the listeners back their time.
No, just thank you again for having me. God bless your listeners, and I'm praying for you to continue on with a unique heart, and that it goes to every big city in the United States.
Oh my God, I received that, because that is definitely my plan. I received that. The Love in the Box has been around in different states. And that's another thing that let me tell the listeners, to say I've been in business for a year, the box have went to 57 cities in 17 states.
That's awesome.
Within a year. And listen, I don't even do any advertising. It's all about word of mouth or referrals. I don't even have a lead page on my website yet. Like I'm revamping the website and all that now. Like you don't get emails from me. I don't even have all that set up. So I can imagine when I get all that set up. I'm working on that now and revamping everything, but all of that was God, nothing but God. Yeah. So sister, I love you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. This was amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right. Signing off Facebook. Stay there, Lisa.